Hi there. In this episode of the Crush the Rush podcast, I'm pulling back the curtain on Holidays, which was our summer marketing experiment that turned into one of our most profitable and fun sales weeks ever. We're talking about growing our email list, boosting our revenue, and how we sold spots to our brand new program without really even launching. So, inside, I am going to share how to create your own business holiday to boost sales anytime. Why branding and personality make your promo stand out. The easiest way to pick offers and structure your week, and real life examples that you can swipe for your own business. So, if you've ever wanted to sell more without doing a traditional launch or spend your summer by the pool instead of glued to your phone, this episode is going to show you exactly how. And if you're looking for more on how to grow and sell without using social media, you can head on over to hollymariehaynes.com/workshop and listen to my brand new Ditch the Social Drama workshop, where I'm teaching you how to grow your email list, create a client attraction plan, and make consistent sales without living on social media. Today, I am really excited because one of our sort of intentional pivots with the Crush the Rush podcast is to share more behind the scenes of what we're doing, what's working, what's not working, lessons learned, and sort of all the things in between. And so today I wanted to go really deep behind the scenes on what I'm calling one of our favorite marketing experiences. And every summer, specifically inside our collective co-op program, we always talk about what do we want our intention to be for the summer? How do we want to feel during the summer season? And it's different for everyone. And if you're listening to this, summer is just wrapping up. And so I think it's a really good time to reflect on how summer went for you and save it for next summer when you can go back and look at the notes. But one of the things that has worked really, really well for us, which I have talked about before, it's not a secret, is to create your own holiday. And this year it was, I would say, one of our most profitable, most fun, and one of our highest in terms of revenue, lowest stressed sales week ever, which I think is pretty good for a summer vibe. So I've shared on this podcast that we created a holiday called Holidays. It's typically in July, typically around when Amazon does their Prime Days and Target does their Target Circle Days. And I have a whole podcast episode. If you just search holiday on our podcast page, it will come up and show you the data behind planning your own seasonal holiday. But I thought this episode would just be a great opportunity to share what happened when we hosted this. So again, I wanted it to be low stress. We did it email only, and I'll share what that looked like. And I wanted it to bring in revenue, right? Because summer is typically a lower revenue season for us. And so it's helpful to have something strategically planned to bring in extra revenue. So the outcome of our holidays, which we did in July, was we grew our email list by 100 new subscribers. That was very organic. I did not expect that. It was a 5-figure launch. So 5-figure bump in revenue. There were very minimal costs. I would say almost zero costs. We sold multiple offers and did it while I was in between vacations and mostly off social with zero paid ads. So I say mostly off social. I did one Instagram reel, and I shared last month on the podcast that my social this summer was just kind of fun. And so I just had fun with it. And then we launched it through email. So we were launching it to a list that we already had. I didn't hire anyone new. I didn't buy anything new. We reused last year's sales pages, lead pages, and email sequences. So yes, we used the same emails as we used the year before and just made a couple of updates. And if you ever are thinking oh my gosh, I want to sell more without adding 100 things to my list, absolutely write down the steps of your next launch so that the next time you can reuse it. And so again, July is historically slow. Engagement is a little bit less and sales are a little bit less. And so I was like, okay, I'm just going to make it fun. And I didn't want to wait until fall. And so this, I thought, was a great way to prime you for what's coming in the fall. And It was fun. Like we branded it. It was totally ours. And it was just something that felt easy. And this is a little bit of a side note, but my husband and I, we walk every morning and we try not to talk about business. But one of the things we were talking about was, what is the thing that you want to do next? Like, what does that look like for you? And I was like, I just want it to be an easy yes. Like I want the clients to like magically say yes. Like I want all the things that we want to build to just like magically get done in the easiest way. Like I just want it to feel easy. And I feel like the thing about holidays was it felt easy. And so this is how we made it fun. And I think why that mattered. We branded it like a real holiday. So we had surprise discounts for if you purchased on the first day. We had a wait list and every day was different. So you can structure holidays or holidays however you'd like. But for us, each day had a different focus. And so we were able to strategically plan our emails Monday through Friday, each with a different focus, each with like bright summary visuals with the fun name. And I think it was cool because every day was different. It was like a surprise in your inbox. And the vibe was kind of like, hey, come hang out with me, or you're getting something special today. And so a lot of people would respond and be like, oh, I can't wait to read tomorrow's email, or I can't wait to see what holidays is all about, or oh my gosh, I love your holidays logo. This is so cool. I love the colors. And so I knew that there was energy behind it. And I think that's something that I really want to take with me into future launches is the energy. And it was really fun. If we're going deep into this case study, I'll go through the offers that we sold. You can obviously do a sale with any type of offer. It could be one offer. It could be two offers. We ended up doing 3. I have to check my notes for a second. And then we had one little bonus that kind of sold itself, which I was a happy surprise. So we sold Anti-Social School, and there is actually a strategy behind this that I'm going to talk about in future episodes. But if you've been listening, we redid Anti-Social School. And so for me, this was a great deadline to get it done because I knew I wanted to launch it sort of softly inside our holidays program. So we launched new Anti-Social School with a new prize, with the new format. That was the biggest one, and we had a wait list for that. We also launched our Crush the Rush Club at a significant discount. So we did 50% off the full year. And then we created something brand new that we've never sold before, and you actually cannot buy it off our website, and that is our bot bundle. So our bot bundle is all of the bots that you get inside Anti-Social School, but sold separately. And now you can't get them. Like you could only get them during the sale. And then we had a handful of people that also bought our planner. And the cool thing about our planner is at every single checkout page. So if you join Anti-Social School, if you join one of our freebies, if you join our club, there's a little box in the bottom of our offer page and it says, hey, do you want to add on our planner? It saves you up to 5 hours a week in planning time or whatever the saying is. And so we actually sold quite a few planners that way because it was like an order bump as people were checking out. And so I didn't really expect that. If I'm being honest, sometimes I forget the planner. It kind of just like hangs out on its own. But it was really fun to see the breakout of what people were purchasing. The majority of people purchased the Anti-Social School sale, 70% purchased that, followed by our Crush the Rush Club membership, the bot bundle, and then the planner. So this combo of highlighting different products throughout a 1-week period gave us a 5-figure revenue boost in 5 days, which isn't bad, right? And I will say the way that we launched it was each day there was an email that went out that highlighted one of the items. So it might have highlighted Anti-Social School on Monday. I think we did Anti-Social School on Monday and Tuesday. We did the club on Wednesday. We did the bot bundle on Thursday. And then Friday, we did like a wrap up. If you went to our sales page, you could purchase any of them at any time during the week, but you had to get it during that week. So it actually was the simplest launch plan ever. And I'll go through a little more detail of what this looked like. So we did send daily emails. And inside those daily emails, I tried to share a personal story of this is, how it's helped me during this season. It was very timely to the summer. I always like to make things seasonal. And then we tied it to the offer. The Instagram reel that I did was actually a carousel post that highlighted all of holidays, and it just sat out there for the whole week. And that was kind of it. We typically don't get a lot of sales from Instagram, so that was just for a little bit of bonus visibility. And at the time of the recording, carousel posts are doing very well, and they're super easy to repurpose. So I could throw in my emails that I had scheduled into ChatGPT and ask it to repurpose it into a carousel post, and it did it for me. P.S. We also have a bot that does that for you as well. We didn't have any webinars, no big challenges, no ads, nothing. We didn't do any affiliates, nothing like that. I literally was by the pool most of the time because my girls were home. I scheduled the emails and then I checked in on replies. So one of the things that we also did is if you clicked on our sales page, we were super intentional about sending a follow-up. Sometimes it was a personal follow-up, and then sometimes we automate our follow-ups inside ConvertKit, which is our email system. But the goal is that the whole thing, it felt really light and intentional. And so again, some of the unexpected wins were we grew our list organically. There weren't any partner swaps or bundles, but it was just like people were excited, going back to that energy of, honestly, I think the energy came from our holidays logo, which I did on vacation in ChatGPT. Like, it's so crazy to me, but it created this like momentum, which was really fun. It did force us to clean up our back end a little bit because we were reusing last year's assets. And it made me realize like how much content I already have. So seriously, save your launch emails, save your post, like save all the things that you're creating so that you can go back and reuse them. And then, I think it just proved that momentum looks different at different seasons. And for us, it was, limited effort with a high yield because it generated consistent sales for us. So if you're listening and you're like, well, this sounds kind of cool, I personally think you could do your own holiday anytime. A great time to do your own holiday is in the summer or during Black Friday timeframe. Now, I say Black Friday timeframe. I do not do Black Friday. It stresses me out. I will tell you all about that in future episodes, and I've talked about it before, but you can do something in that time frame. So you could do October or you could do November, but not necessarily that. I don't know. I know people are spending money during that time, so I think it's important to be visible, but I don't want to spend my Thanksgiving worrying about email scheduling and things like that. I also think that a made-up holiday is a great thing to do if you want to do Black Friday and you want to just schedule the things and see what happens. Like, leave it up to the universe. Like, you're putting it out there, but you're not going to worry about it. So pick a time that your audience usually checks out or, is checking in, right? So it could be summer. It could be Black Friday. It could be the week after New Year's. It could be the week between. What are the 2 weeks between December and January? I feel like there's a name for it and I can't remember. If your audience is checked out, let's make them check in. Or if they're checked in, let's make it super exciting and fun, right? So theme it, name it, make it feel like a real event. Give each day a twist or surprise and just like switch it up. So if you're having a sale, you don't want to get the same email every day. You want them to be like, oh, what are they sending today? I can't wait to open it. And sell intentionally. I don't think a sale necessarily means you have to slash your prices. So I think you need to be really cautious about what you're charging, how you're charging, and is it worth your time? If people are paying you less money, it may or may not be. Or are there other things that you could bundle together or add on or package differently so that it's a little bit different, but you're not giving away the farm? So sell intentionally. Keep it really simple. Launches can be a lot in a short amount of time, and there's a lot you can do, and you can keep adding on and adding on and adding on. And so our whole intention during this time frame was it was going to be email only, and that was it. Like, I had to put my blinders on and say, like, this is what we're doing. These are our guardrails, and we're sticking to it. And then last but not least, I've mentioned this before, make sure that you save your work, right? Once you've done it, you've now got a reusable playbook for the next year. And so you don't have to wait until Black Friday, although it's a great opportunity if you want to, or you don't have to wait for the right season to sell, right? Like, the whole goal of this case study is create your own moment, create your own momentum, that is making your brand stand out so much more. It's making you stand out in terms of what you're doing and how you're doing it. And hopefully it's something that people look forward to every year. So now holidays is a thing, right? We love seasons. We love the different vibes of each season, and holidays is going to stick around because it's proof that fun and strategy can coexist. I can't wait to see how our holidays logo evolves. Selling does not have to drain you. Again, this was an email only launch and it was fun, right? The design promos and scheduling the emails fit into our summer schedule. And so I'm excited for next year's holidays. Maybe we'll do it twice a year. I don't know. But it's definitely something that we're going to do again in July. And, I think there's monetary benefits, but there's also non-monetary benefits in terms of like getting organized, creating momentum, adding people to your email list. And so I would highly recommend creating your own holiday and putting it on the calendar now. And if you're looking for ways to sell more with being online less, this is one of the things that we teach inside our brand new Ditch the Social Drama workshop, where I'll teach you how to grow your email list and how to create a client attraction plan and make sales without living on social media. So you can just go to hollymariehaynes.com/workshop. And if you are planning your big holiday sale, I can't wait to hear what you're doing, how you're doing it. And if you have any questions or want to brainstorm, shoot me a DM. And I hope you love this case study. We're excited to share more behind the scenes of what it looked like. But this was a super simple, easy win that I would totally do again.